The research Flipped Classroom and Problem-Based Learning in Higher Education based on Latin American context was conducted in the Universidad Tecnológica Equinoccial in Quito, Ecuador, by Wilson Guerrero, teacher of computer science. As a summary, we can say that the traditional teaching methods in higher education, among other causes, make students lose interest and efficiency in a subject. This causes repetition and student dropout. Although there is a lot of new teaching methods, educational institutions, teachers, and even the students themselves have reluctance to implement them or to be part of the same by comfort or fear of change. Among the main consequences of the repetition and dropout are economic losses for governments, institutions, and families. In addition, students suffer frustration for not being able to move at the same rate of peers or not finishing their careers. This paper presents a research that applies a combined teaching method based on flipped classroom and problem-based learning in the process of teaching and learning in higher education in the Latin America context. In a case study carried out for the Office application subject and how readings, videos, and questionnaires were generated for the process outside the classroom and the practices, exercises, problems, and projects for these processes within it. The primary objective is to offer higher education institutions, teachers, a guide for the use of new methodological and technological tools for teaching their subjects. In addition, preliminary results of satisfaction and efficiency of students touched with these methods are also presented. The Information and Communication Technology, ICT, have had great development in the last few years, so it's necessary to include them in the educational system, leaving aside the traditional class and giving importance within the teaching learning process to the new emerging technologies. The new educational paradigms must contemplate 5 fundamental characteristics to be efficient according to UNESCO. Customization. Strengthen the programming of each student, recognizing their different contexts, interests, characteristics, and tastes. Focus on learning outcomes. Produce better learning outcomes for students, both in the curricular content as in the broader skills development. Enlargement of the times and spaces for learning. To contribute to overcoming the limits of space and time of the school year, information available at any time and place through the creation of social knowledge networks. New learning experiences. Incorporate new methods, new strategies, and new educational resources such as blended learning, project-based learning, and personalized learning environments. This will allow incorporation of educational games, social networking, online platforms, videos, and others. Collaborative construction of knowledge. Discover and develop new learning by working with others. The Horizon project of the new Media Consortium, in one of its reports, tells us that one of the trends with greater short-term impact on higher education is the generalization of a type of blended learning, because this provides a learning experience cohesive and flexible in which the student has a constant support, in addition to gain the ability to learn independently, but also to collaborate and to have more communication channels with their peers and teachers. Flipped Classroom. One of the methods used by the blended learning is Flipped Classroom, characterized by being more flexible, active, and motivating for students. The time is distributed in a different way, both inside and outside the classroom. Time is devoted to learning more cognitive, more dynamic, based on projects so that they work together and face challenges that will allow a better understanding of the field of study. An educational process supported in digital texts, video lessons, podcasts, and online forums to access before and after school. In this way, students manage the content to use, decide their own rhythm and style of their learning, and choose how to put in practice the knowledge acquired. Flipped Classroom. The fundamental differences in the flipped classroom with regard to the acquisition and construction of knowledge with the traditional model are: first, the acquisition of knowledge, that is, understand the concepts, principles, and procedures of the studied subject. The student gets at home via online through videos and readings. Many times the student in a traditional class does not understand explanations of the professor, and either by shame he does not ask for explanation or the teacher does not support it. In contrast with a video, the student may repeat the number of times that is necessary to understand the subject. Second, the exercises. Problems and projects are carried out in class, in working groups, and with the tutoring of teachers. This allows a construction of knowledge between all the actors involved in the teaching learning process. The students seek the knowledge that they lack in the other members of the group, or if the exercises cannot be solved by one of them, the advice of professor, peer learning, and collaborative learning. Repetition and dropout. In a study conducted in Mexico at the Autonomous University of Puebla in the areas of engineering and science, mentions that, among others, the main factors for student dropouts are academic performance, with aspects such as the disapproval, the dedication and discipline, the difficulty of subjects and teaching methods. In the same way, in a similar study at the University Central del Ecuador in the year 2012, it was concluded as the main causes for the repetition and dropout are the low performance, excessive load, and the poor quality of the program, poor relationships with teachers and institutional problems, being then the academic subject a crucial factor for the student dropout and repetition. Student performance in the course. Office applications. In addition, according to statistical records of student performance in the course office, taken from the computer system of the Universidad Tecnológica Equinoccial from the year 2012 up to 2015, it is clear that out of a total of 6,385 students, the subject is transversal to all of the schools. 62% approve of the subject in your first enrollment and a 9% between the second and third. These results are not efficient if we consider that this subject is not critical for the qualification of any of the schools of the UTE by their genetic content, but can contribute to the dropout rate in each of them, because this is taught in the first level. With the aim to improve the efficiency of the students in this course, Fipped Classroom and problem-based learning was implemented in a unit of study of the subject office supported in the LMS Moodle. Prior to the implementation of Fipped Classroom and problem-based learning, 2 surveys were conducted to 14 teachers that dictate the course office to define the methods and strategies used by these in the teaching learning process, and satisfaction survey to 4,727 students of all schools that have completed the course to determine the degree of satisfaction and performance of these with respect to the subject matter of spreadsheets, and found the following. A. All teachers use traditional classes, presentation of the item, definition of concepts and examples, guided exercises and tasks. B. The 74% of students consider that they have had problems in the topic, spreadsheets. C. 44% of the lecturers consider that the solved exercises in class and of the tasks do not relate to the professional skill of their schools and that do not solve the real problems. Activities for the implementation of the 2 methods. Once the above analysis, the following activities for the implementation of the 2 methodologies, Fipped Classroom and problem-based learning, were performed. The multimedia content was generated, lectures, videos, quizzes, practices, problems to be solved in projects. The class Moodle was designed with the methodology, Fipped Classroom and problem-based learning for the spreadsheets. The course was implemented in 6 groups of the semester, April through August 2016, with a total of 138 students of the specializations Hospitality and Services, Architecture and Urbanism, Health Sciences, and Administrative Sciences. Satisfaction surveys were answered by the students. These include 4 aspects: pedagogical tools, learning management system, Fipped Classroom, and problem-based learning, with 27 questions. Out of these 27 questions, 2 questions are analyzed to measure satisfaction with problem-based learning and 2 questions to measure satisfaction with Fipped Classroom, and the analysis of the approval of the course. The course structure was generated taking into account the contents, microcurriculum, the area where you will carry out the activities, the home and the class, and resources for each of them, reading, videos, quizzes, practices, problems to be solved, and projects. The activities at home, according to Bloom's taxonomy, allow students to remember, understand, and apply knowledge. For this we use the readings, videos, and the questionnaires. In contrast, The in-class activities will allow students to reach higher levels of knowledge, how to analyze, evaluate, and create. This is done by problem solving and projects. Flipped Classroom runs through all levels of knowledge, while the problem-based learning focuses on the three higher levels, which are to analyze, to evaluate, and to create. Satisfaction surveys. These allow you to check the degree of satisfaction of the students with the two methods implemented for questions related to flipped classrooms. A. Question 1. Problem-based learning and flipped classroom are more effective than traditional methodologies. B. Question 2. Would you recommend this methodology, flipped classroom, for other subjects? The answers to these two questions have the same tendency of approval, since among the options, always and almost always, in the first question, 78% was obtained, and in the second, 81%. Only 7% for the first question, problem-based learning and flipped classroom, are more effective than the traditional methodologies, and 9% for the second. Would you recommend this methodology, flipped classroom? For other subjects, they answer sometimes and never. For questions related to problem-based learning, question 3, with the solution of real problems, you relate better to the subject with the professional area of studies. Question 4, have you been able to satisfactorily resolve the problems or projects? The trend of these two answers are also equal. The 63% approve of the relation of the subject to the career, and the 62% has satisfactorily resolved the problems projects. However, the percentage of approval is less than the previous two questions because the class has groups that are formed by students who belong to different schools and problems. Projects were created with generic topics. This first implementation of methods FC and PBL for the office application subject in the UTE has made it possible to find positive and negative aspects. Creating readings and videos took a long time and was hard work. However, having been made by experts in the field of computer science, but no experts in recording and editing videos or graphics designs. Therefore, it is suggested to train teachers in these areas to be more efficient and that the products are of quality. However, once you have all these resources, these can be replicated in the following groups in the future. Some students resolve the practices at home. However, they could resolve them in class the next day with some help from the teacher. This indicates that FC allows the students to progress on their own pace. The problems to be solved in groups of 2 or 3 people allow their members to share their knowledge between them with other groups when they were stuck in a complex situation, but also counted with the support of the teacher to face these kind of situations when no group found solution. The projects resolved in larger groups allow the students to divide a large problem into smaller problems and to propose their own possible solutions. A basic problem at this point is that groups of students belong to different schools, so that it is strengthened in its entirety the link between this and the subject. Flipped classroom and problem-based learning allow the student to be the center of the teaching learning process because it seeks knowledge through the technological and pedagogical tools provided by the teacher. The latter happens to be a guide and tutor who goes by identifying and correcting the way they must follow. The number of students approved was increased by 18% in the office, but it is necessary to continue implementing Flipped Classroom with methods such as problem-based learning, case studies, gaming, mobile learning, among other methods, in order to continue to improve the efficiency of the students with this and other subjects of stockholders. The repetition rates are in dropout, therefore both in the University Tecnológica Equinoccial as in Latinoamerican and Ecuadorian universities. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that this research can be put to practice and also serve as a source of research of its own.